Welcome back to WagerTalk.com. We're moving over to the AFC North, and we're going to start with the team on the top, my hometown Pittsburgh Steelers. But I'm not going to be the one making an official play on this one. It's going to be Ralph, because I don't want you guys telling me I'm a homer all the time. So I'll have a couple thoughts on the Steelers here in a moment. Brian, with you being a Cleveland Brown fan and looking up at the Steelers in the division every single year, what do you got to say about my Steelers?
We look up at everyone in the division. Don't just pick out the Steelers.
What a lead in. I'll tell you how I'm going to treat the Steelers this year. They're first in the league in offensive spending, 32nd in the league in defensive spending. What's that tell you? Bet the over. And I think the Steelers are going to be that way this year. We talked about the quarterback spending earlier. Ben's going to the Hall of Fame, 13th in the NFL in quarterback spending. That means they'll always have a good team, similar to the New England Patriots owners. That's the deal. Don't spend a lot of money on a quarterback. When he gets to that point, trade him off to the Browns or something. But I think there's going to be a lot of high-scoring games in the Pittsburgh Steelers this year.
Now, I will say, and that was the formula. I mean, obviously, the Steelers have changed their identity. It's no more 3 yards in a cloud of dust and grind it out and then play hard-nosed defense. It's the offense that's taken center stage, and when you've got, two of the best players in the league on the same team with Antonio Brown for the passing game, Le'Veon Bell with the running game, and a quarterback like Ben, you're going to put up big numbers. But surprisingly, the defense, the reason why there's not as much spending on the Steeler defense is because the Steeler defense is young. So you haven't kicked in all of those big contracts yet for the Steelers. And they did show a lot of improvement last year, surprisingly, with that defense. And now you're going to be, I think it's the third year with the new defensive coordinator. And they've gained experience, those young players. I think the Steeler defense is going to be better this year. But the offense is the center stage. Ralph, this is your play. Let's go to you and see how you're looking at it.
We talk about the Steelers at 10.5. That's pretty high when you look at the AFC North, and it's only one of two divisions where you have 3 teams or more all projected to have a winning record. So when you have 8.5s for Baltimore, Cincinnati, and Pittsburgh, you got to look for a lot of non-conference wins there to get to your number. I'm going to look for Pittsburgh to go under the total. They're averaging 9.6 wins the last 5 years. Now, the last 3 years, they've had 11, 10, and 11, but they were 8-8 those 2 previous years. Tough to duplicate the 5-1 division mark, again, with Baltimore and Cincinnati both playing better. Last year, Pittsburgh only was playing a second-year schedule. Remember, Cincinnati was 12-4 the year before, so Pittsburgh only played one road team that made the playoffs, and that was a weak playoff team in Miami, an easy road schedule. This year, 4 of their 5 opponents in late October and November are primetime meetings. That means your opposition is going to be ready to play. And you look at Pittsburgh's non-conference home schedule, New England, Green Bay, Minnesota, Tennessee, probably the toughest out there. I like Pittsburgh under the total. They still can win this division with 10 wins. I think it's going to be tough to get that 10.5.
Yeah, I have to agree with you. I think the Steelers are a 10-6 team this year, and that's going to be enough, I think, to win the division. The one thing I will say on the Steelers, they do finish the season with 5 out of 7 at home at Heinz Field. And, of course, that big revenge game that we talked in another video with New England, where New England might already have things wrapped up at that point. And if they're going to meet in the playoffs, as you pointed out, Brian, Bill Belichick's smart enough to play a vanilla game and let the Steelers have their, satisfying revenge game win and then beat them again in the playoffs, as they always do, unfortunately for me. Hey, guys, check out Ralph Michaels' NFL preseason guide. He's done a lot of guides for us, and I got to tell you, the stuff he put in the preseason guide might be the best yet. If you bet preseason football, you want to have this. It's a $19.95 value. Ralph sent it in. We were going to put it up for sale, and then Johnny hit the bottle a little early that day, and he hit the free button on it, and you can get it for free. So thank Johnny Detroit for that. You can pick this up free at WagerTalk.com. Check it out. You're doing yourself a disservice if you don't download it. And don't forget, on Fridays, for the rest of August, you can have Flashback Friday, $7 picks each and every Friday at WagerTalk.
$9.
Huh? $9. We'll be back with more here at WagerTalk.com.